What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news video. And I have to be honest, I'm appalled and disgusted by the decision from Liverpool FC, and I'm not sure who actually made the decision, but I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp and Jordan Henderson are not happy about this behind the scenes, that Liverpool placed some of their non-playing staff on temporary leave on furlough. And the problem with this is not that the staff doesn't get the full wages, because Liverpool pay 20% of their wages, but the remaining 80% will be paid by the British government. And of course the government has some loopholes in this new program where you can apply to the government to cover 80% of your pay if you were placed on a temporary or permanent leave. And this wasn't intended for huge companies to take advantage of. And Liverpool are not the only company taking advantage of this. Tottenham, Newcastle, Norwich, I think Bournemouth, and also many other companies. But that doesn't excuse the fact that Liverpool shouldn't be doing this. A club who turned 42 million pounds profit just last year. In the past 2 years, Liverpool had almost 150 million pounds profit in total. And also, just to player agents, Liverpool paid 43 million pounds last year. I love this football club, and that's why I'm even more upset that Liverpool have done this, because I honestly thought that Liverpool are a better football club in terms of they have to have better values. And I don't want to blame everybody at Liverpool Football, because I'm sure that not everybody was involved in this decision at Liverpool Football Club, and I really hope that Jurgen Klopp and Henderson and most of the players weren't involved in this decision. I'm pretty sure of that. But it's appalling behavior. You can't sugarcoat it any other way. We have the anthem of "You Will Never Walk Alone." I mean, and we have this marketing slogan that this means more, this football club means more. And Liverpool are going against this with this decision to use the government to pay 80% of 200 non-playing staff's wages. Honestly, unacceptable for me. And also, Liverpool save around a million and a half pounds by doing this. I really don't understand who on earth did make this decision at Liverpool Football Club. Who was the person who said, yeah, this is fine, this will be a fine decision, let's go with this? I'm sure that nobody will be upset about this. I'm sure that the fans and the media will just say, all right, you do that, no, it's fine. And especially Liverpool saw how much Tottenham got criticized by everyone who has a sense of dignity in them. Liverpool still went ahead with this decision. That's what I don't understand. Like, how are you brain dead? Who made this decision? Do you seriously think that Liverpool Football Club, who have the slogan of "You Will Never Walk Alone," wouldn't get even more criticism and even bigger backlash than Tottenham? This is an absolute PR disaster, and this is unacceptable for me. Come on, Liverpool Football Club, do the right thing, reverse this decision and apologize to everyone. And it's entirely clear that both Liverpool and Tottenham can more than afford to pay all the staff's wages. I mean, Liverpool are saving a million and a half, Tottenham as well, by doing this a month. Why make the British taxpayer foot the bill? And that bill has to be paid sooner or later, and the British taxpayers will be paying for that in the future. So why increase the burden on the average British taxpayer by taking money out from the government to pay the wages of people who work for a multi-million pound like football club? I never understand this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And also, Liverpool, if they just put a 10% or a 20% wage cut on all player wages, they could easily pay the full wage of all non-playing staff. So what do you think about this decision by Liverpool? I read the statement carefully, and Liverpool actually wanted to mask this by not actually mentioning that Liverpool will use this government program to pay 80% of the non-playing staff's wages. They were very careful in the wording of that statement, and that actually fooled me for the first time when I read it. But after I read the opinion on Twitter from many journalists, it's clear that Liverpool are not paying 100% of the non-playing staff's wages when they are on temporary leave, and I think this is disgusting, unacceptable, and I think around 80% of Liverpool fans on Twitter think like me, but 20% think that it's okay to take advantage of the government program because that's what it's for. But the problem with that is that the government will need to recuperate that money later somehow, and that will increase the burden on the citizens as well, because they would probably get the money back, implementing some new tax schemes and everything. And I think the billionaires should be paying for this, not the regular people in the future. The billionaires have so much money, it's you can't even comprehend if you are earning a regular wage. And even like Premier League players, but also bankers, brokers, and like businessmen who earn like millions of pounds every month, they should be the ones who are paying for this money. And it's absolutely disgusting, in my opinion, that Liverpool use this government program to pay 80% of some of the non-playing staff's wages when they are on temporary leave. And Jamie Carragher said this: Jurgen Klopp showed compassion for all at the start of this pandemic. Senior players heavily involved in the Premier League players taking wage cuts. All respect and goodwill is lost when Liverpool made this decision, and this is very poor from Liverpool. Dominic King, another journalist, said the £77 proposed tickets was grim. You know that Liverpool proposed those tickets a few years ago and there was huge uproar. The failure to stand up and not give Richard Scudamore a £250,000 gift was pathetic by Liverpool. That was also in the past, like 1 year ago. But this is the worst by Liverpool. £42 million profit announced just 5 weeks ago. And according to Dominic King, Liverpool deserve every ounce of criticism that comes their way. What would Bill Shankly say if he was still alive today and if he saw what Liverpool were doing? And I don't care that Liverpool is a business. I don't care that they are thinking like a business. They are a lot more than a business. You don't worship and support a business from being a little kid up until you die. It's a lot more than a business. Liverpool is a football club, it's a community, and also Liverpool is a socialist city, and Liverpool Football Club, so far many people thought that they are representing something. They are representing something much more than just a regular football club run like a business. But it's clear that the decision was made by some businessman at the top. I'm not exactly sure who is responsible for this, but whoever is responsible for this, the huge PR disaster, the backlash that Liverpool is getting is fully justified in my opinion, and they have to backtrack on this. They have to change this decision. They backtracked when they announced the £77 ticket prices, and they got a huge backlash from that, and they changed it later. But some of the damage is already done, in my opinion, but all hope is not lost. If Liverpool quickly change this decision and pay 100% of the non-playing staff who are put on temporary leave, if they change this decision very quickly and pay 100% of that, it can be a little bit softened, but the blow is already massive. Liverpool's reputation is tarnished and it's put through the mud, and I hate to see this because I love this football club with every fiber of my being. Since I was a kid, since I started really watching football, I fell in love with Liverpool, And this club means the world to me, and it's really painful to see Liverpool make a decision like this. Because this whole furlough program, the government program to subsidize 80% of the wages of people who are put on temporary leave, this program is for small businesses. This program is for businesses and companies who cannot afford to pay the wages of staff who are put on temporary leave because of this economic halt. Liverpool, Tottenham, 2 Champions League finalists last season, are definitely not companies who cannot afford to pay the wages of these people, honestly. I mean, Liverpool pay millions of pounds every week to the footballers. And if you just cut like 10-15% of the wages of the footballers, and even if you took away the whole wage of footballers for like 3 months, they wouldn't be affected at all. But these people, I mean, these people's salaries are now paid by the British government. And imagine if all companies would do this in England. The government would go bankrupt, and it's absolutely disgusting, in my opinion, that Liverpool are using this just to save a fraction of their budget. A little small fraction, because how much money are Liverpool saving by this? Maybe a few £100,000, maybe £1 million. They pay out many millions of pounds every week to footballers who are at the moment just sitting at home and training and not playing games, not attending training. And it feels so wrong. And I know it's a lot more complicated. Liverpool have, of course, contracts with the players, and they can't just cut their wages without actually consulting with the players, because that would result in a breach of contract and the player would be free to leave. But I'm sure that Liverpool, with Jordan Henderson leading the way of asking Premier League captains to support an NHS fund and to pay millions into that fund to help the NHS, I'm sure that the owners could have sat down with the Liverpool players and worked out some kind of wage deduction where they don't have to do this. And also it absolutely blows my mind how Liverpool were so quick to do this, even after, I'm sure that Liverpool, if their head wasn't in the sand, they saw what kind of backlash Tottenham got, Newcastle, Norwich City. You saw how much the football fans absolutely hated and attacked what Daniel Levy at Tottenham did. And whoever is behind this decision at Liverpool has to hold his hands up and say that I made a massive error of judgment, I made a massive mistake, I majorly fucked up here, basically. That's what he has to say, and to reverse this in total, because I mean, it's unacceptable in my opinion. And this is very important. A member of staff who works at Liverpool, and he was anonymous when he gave this interview to BBC, this is what he said. The club call their staff their family. I'm not feeling like a family member right now. Why is a club that turns over millions of pounds using a government scheme for its staff when other businesses are more in need of it? I feel disappointed, and I'm feeling that this government scheme could be used by businesses who are actually in trouble. And the member of staff added that they were disappointed, especially after Everton said that they were not doing this. And Liverpool Football Club said that they were aiming to protect the best interests of the club and our staff in both the short term and the long term, with all such actions being undertaken following various internal discussions. In some instances, further measures will follow only once all parties are in a position to proceed, and updates will be provided. I mean, if there is an internal discussion, was Jurgen Klopp asked about this? Was Jordan Henderson asked about this? Did they agree to this? I just can't see a way where Jordan Henderson and Jurgen Klopp and many other Liverpool players would be okay with this. Some players, yes, they don't really care, but others, I'm sure they care a lot. And of course, especially Jurgen Klopp, who we know that he's a socialist. He wants everybody to do well in society. I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp was not okay with this. And I mean, Liverpool have placed around 200 of their non-playing staff on this temporary leave program, and they have to apply to the British government to get 80% of their wages. It just feels so wrong. And 200 of those non-paying staff, like even if like you have to pay £2,000 per month for 200 of those, that's like 200,000 pounds, 400,000 pounds in total. But yeah, let's say it's 10,000 pounds, which I'm sure it's a lot less. Those people don't earn 10,000 pounds a month. Even that is only like 2 million pounds. So for Liverpool to pay 10,000 pounds a month for 200 of their non-playing staff on temporary leave, that would only cost them 2 million pounds. Think about this. Liverpool paid 43 million pounds to player agents last year, throughout the whole year. So they paid more to player agents per month than they would have had to pay the non-playing staff for this temporary leave period. And it blows my mind. It's unacceptable, and I don't know how anyone at Liverpool Football Club thought that the fans would be okay with this. And if anybody thought that the fans wouldn't absolutely riot about this, then that person who made this decision is an absolute fool. And frankly, he should be sacked, or he should be seriously like thinking about his choices. Charles Watts, who is a journalist, said this: last season's two Champions League finalists, who between them announced combined profits of £129 million for last season, they are now using a government scheme to pay 80% of staff's wage just 4 weeks into a shutdown. It's completely indefensible, and I 100% agree with this. And I just want to give you an idea of what Liverpool fans think about this decision. So I want to read to you some comments on Twitter. Liverpool have dropped the ball here. Klopp is making millions and owners are rolling in it. It's shite form from FSG. And it's right. The FSG owner, John W. Henry, is worth like billions of dollars. So 2 million pounds or 1 million or however much it would be a month to pay the non-playing staff is pocket change for the owner of Liverpool Football Club. But even if I get the argument, he shouldn't be paying the non-playing staff. Liverpool FC should. But Liverpool got a revenue of £553 million last season. So they have more than enough to pay the non-playing staff wages. Another Twitter user said, this job retention scheme isn't for the mega rich to take advantage, it's for the vulnerable to survive. Their decision goes against our civic values completely. Another user said that Liverpool are saving around 1.5 million by doing this. I genuinely don't understand why. Another user said another fan said Liverpool shouldn't be using government money to pay staff wages. The employees won't be any worse off, but it's not a good look at all for a hugely profitable club to be doing that. Another Liverpool fan said it's pathetic, really. FSG, the Liverpool owners, are so greedy. These staff are what are helping the club get back to the absolute top level. Pay them all the money from our own funds, from Liverpool's funds, and absolutely shambolic that they are relying on the British government to pay 80% of the staff's wages. I expected better for Liverpool. Relying on the government is a disgrace when you are earning so much money. The scheme is for companies who are struggling with cash flow. And also another fan said, as a lifelong supporter, I am embarrassed that my club, who are one of the richest clubs in the world, are using this scheme. Please have a rethink, as it does not reflect well among fans. This is wrong. This doesn't sound like my club. Companies making profits who don't have to furlough staff and choose to do so stinks. Oftentimes reveal the two colors, and I honestly thought that Liverpool Football Club are better than this. I harshly criticized Tottenham when they did this a few days ago in one of my videos, and I will do the same for Liverpool Football Club. Some Liverpool fans, and I myself include in this, I really hope that they reverse this decision, because so far it has been an absolute PR nightmare. Everywhere I go, on Liverpool forums, on Reddit, on Twitter, everything that I read, like 90% of the fans are disgusted by this and appalled by this decision. And also this gives rival fans even more ammunition to just rip into Liverpool and criticize us, and it makes Liverpool an easy target. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.